Sri Lanka, enriched with exceptional natural beauty, from its magnificent beaches, its tropical forests, and majestic mountains. A huge array of species and rich diversity of cultural histories. People seeking fresh perspectives from all around the planet have traveled to the magical and beautiful island over the years. This tiny island nation is situated in the heart of the Indian Ocean in a mild climate. Even though the country is small in size, it was one of the huge landmarks as a major shipping route in Asian civilization. Throughout the history, this island has been referred to by many names: Taprobane, Saranti, the Pearl of the Indian Ocean. The indigenous management approaches of the country have become a central attraction. The historical evidences, such as the tanks or reservoirs that nurture all living creatures for several decades, the gaps and places that were built from the bottom of the grounds to touch the celestial horizon are ample testimony that wisdom possessed by the ancient Sinhalese. The ancient management practices, the technical abilities, and the knowledge of establishing kind stupas, inventing sophisticated ways to manage natural resources are solid evidences that even the extensive knowledge systems and sophisticated calculations have existed in the past. The methods of analysis used for establishing the Gantt structures are the foundation of Oriental research techniques that we witness today. Anuradhapura and Mihintale are among the best examples of all other historical places in Sri Lanka, which depicts the symbol of the know-how of ancient civilizations. For over thousands of years, Mihintale has been an important site. It is where the presence of Buddhism in Sri Lanka was inaugurated. This site is environmentally enchanting, spiritually enlightening, and culturally immensely significant, as our culture originated from here. This and the internationally attended sophisticated learning center at Mahavihara testify that knowledge dissemination, research and debating are not new to Rajarata. In the ancient world, knowledge, values, and practices are received, perceived, and transmitted as orally from one generation to another. The way that people communicate with others has changed drastically over time. At the present, digital communication is a prominent form of communication which is used to ensure knowledge dissemination in education. The Rajarata University of Sri Lanka is located overlooking majestically behind the Mihintale rock, where the new knowledge is produced through the practices of research. The current digital technologies have opened the door to a much broader range of knowledge dissemination possibilities. To communicate new discoveries, advance understanding, novel concepts, and best practices for the advancement of education. The Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, proudly presents the virtual 4th National Research Symposium on Management 2021.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We warmly welcome you to the 4th National Research Symposium on Management 2021. COVID-19 has resulted in the closure of educational institutes across the world. Nevertheless, educational pursuit should not be ceased due to the pandemic. Understanding that the conventional practices are not applicable during this recent catastrophic situation, we, Faculty of Management Studies of the Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, as a part of excellent management education in Sri Lanka, has taken a step further in organizing this annual National Research Symposium fully virtually under the theme of the new normal, building resilience to keep business moving. Today marks a significant and profound milestone for the Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, as we witness here the 4th National Research Symposium fully virtually for the second consecutive year. The main objective of the annual National Research Symposium on Management is to disseminate new knowledge gained through research conducted by the young academic community of the university, researchers and industry experts from other higher educational institutes and the industry. NRSM 2021 gathers the scientific findings in study areas of accountancy and finance, contemporary studies in management, economics and entrepreneurship, human resource management, information systems, marketing and supply chain management, operations and total quality management, and tourism, hospitality and event management. We are now officially commencing the 4th National Research Symposium on Management 2021. To mark the opening of the inauguration ceremony, let's stand up for the university anthem.
ප්‍රඥාලෝකය දැල්වූ ජය සංකේතය මිහින්තලේ වරනේ වරනේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජරට විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය සැරදේ ප්‍රඥාලෝකය දැල්වූ ජය සංකේතය මිහින්තලේ වරනේ වරනේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජරට විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය සැරදේ උරුමය සැකසිය හැදියාවයි මතු කළ සම්මා දර්ශනයයි ශිල්ප ශාස්ත්‍ර නිකේතනයයි බුද්ධිය ශක්තිය ප්‍රබෝධයයි ප්‍රඥාලෝකය දැල්වූ ජය සංකේතය මිහින්තලේ වොරැඳේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජරට විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය සැරදේ දැනුමනුවන දේශය වෙනුවෙන් නංවමු සුජීවනය වඩමින් විද්‍යාඥාන ගවේෂණයයි මානවවාදී විහරණයයි ප්‍රඥාලෝකය දැල්වූ ජය සංකේතය මිහින්තලේ වොරැඳේ ශ්‍රී ලංකා රජරට විශ්වවිද්‍යාලය සැරදේ
Thank you very much. Renowned and prominent key personalities from the national and international universities are joining us today. Let me give the honor of introducing the key personalities of the symposium. The chief guest, Dr. B.A. Kannaratna, Vice Chancellor, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. And we have two keynote speakers today, Professor W.M.C. Bandar Vaninayak, Professor in Marketing, Department of Marketing Management, Faculty of Commerce and Management Studies, University of Kelaniya, and Dr. Jenny Cale, Research Fellow, Massey University, New Zealand, and Associate of Tourism Collab, Brisbane, Australia. The chair of the symposium, Professor W.P. Vijayawardena, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. The co-chair of the symposium, Dr. D.M.C. Dasanayaka, Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. Conference Secretary, Dr. J.D.T. Madhushankar, Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. And the Chief Editor, Dr. H.M.V.P. Ranavira, Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. I would now like to invite Dr. D.M.C. Dasanayaka, Conference Co-Chair of the 4th National Research Symposium on Management 2021, to deliver the welcome address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to see you all virtually in this morning at the inaugural ceremony of the conference NRSM 2021. And I take the honor of addressing you and welcoming you all to this event as the co-chair of the 4th National Research Symposium on Management organized by the Faculty of Management Studies of Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. The Faculty of Management Studies at the Rajarata University of Sri Lanka took pride in launching its first National Research Symposium on Management, NRSM, in 2018 with the primary goal of encouraging research and knowledge dissemination in the various sub-disciplines of management, targeting the use of academic research in national development. In addition, it was expected to provide a conducive platform to discuss and share the research findings of young researchers in the field of management and various related fields of studies. Since then, the NRSM was conducted annually. And today, we are delighted to announce that the NRSM has become the flag carrier of the Faculty of Management Studies of Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. The NRSM 2021 is taken place in an extremely uncertain environment created by the COVID-19 pandemic. As of now, billions of people worldwide have been the victims of this global calamity. However, according to many academics, intellectuals, and business analysts, 2021 will be a year of transformation. Individuals, businesses, and society will begin to look forward to defining their futures rather than focusing solely on surviving the present, assuming no unexpected disasters. In line with this prevailing scenario, the NRSM 2021 takes the theme of the new normal, building resilience to keep business moving. Due to COVID-19 pandemic, the NRSM 2021 will be held as a virtual event. However, the organizing committee has done its best to ensure that the researchers have a great conference experience virtually. With that caption, let me welcome our chief guest, Dr. B.A. Karunaratne, the Vice Chancellor, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. Dear Sir, on behalf of the conference organizing committee, I warmly welcome you to this event and thank you very much for your guidance, directions, and endless support given towards NRSM 2021. Let me then welcome the key character behind the successful organization of this event, Professor W.P. Vijayawardena, Conference Chair, NRSM 2021, and the Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. Dear Sir, I warmly welcome you to this event. Ladies and gentlemen, research conference in any nature should be enriched with the insightful thoughts of scholars and academics from different research cultures. The keynote speeches are remarkable in this context. So, let me welcome our keynote speakers of NRSM 2021. Dr. Bandar Vaninayak, Professor in Marketing, University of Kelaniya, and Dr. Jenny Cave, Research Fellow, Massey University, New Zealand. Dear Sir, dear Madam, on behalf of the organizing committee, I welcome you wholeheartedly to this conference. Then I cordially welcome the key invitees of inaugural ceremony of NRSM 2021, the deans of the management faculties of Sri Lankan universities, and all the deans of the faculties of Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, representing Faculty of Agriculture, Faculty of Applied Sciences, Faculty of Medicine and Allied Sciences, Faculty of Social Sciences and Humanities, and Faculty of Technology. At the same time, I warmly welcome the invited panel chairman and panel members of the conference technical sessions. The value of academic community of the university is always admirable. Let me welcome the invited heads of the department of the university and the heads of the department of the Faculty of Management Studies, representing departments of Accountancy and Finance, Business Management, Human Resource Management, Information Systems, Marketing Management, and Tourism and Hospitality Management. At the same time, I welcome professor and senior academic members and all other academic members of the Faculty of Management Studies, librarian and the assistant librarians of the university, and the members of the Department of English Language Teaching to the NRSM 2021. Then at the same time, I welcome the administrative staff of the university, registrar, bursar, assistant bursar, and assistant registrar of the Faculty of Management Studies. Let me turn to the most valuable participants of this event today, the authors of the abstracts submitted to the conference. Dear researchers, scholars, academics and professionals. On behalf of the conference organizing committee, I warmly welcome you all to the inaugural ceremony and the technical sessions of the conference. Then I heartily welcome the organizing committee of the NRSM 2021, Dr. JDT Madhushankar, Conference Secretary, Dr. HMBP Ranavira, Editor-in-Chief of the conference proceedings, and all other committee coordinators and members. I wish you all a fruitful conference NRSM 2021. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Now I would like to call upon the Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and the Chairperson of the 4th National Research Symposium on Management 2021, Professor W.P. Vijayawardena, to enlighten the gathering with his words.
The Vice Chancellor of the University, Dr. B.A. Karmaratne, keynote speakers, Dr. Jenny Cave, Research Fellow, Massey University, New Zealand, Professor Bandar Vaninayak, Department of Marketing, University of Kalani, Deans of the faculties, heads of the departments, all academic staff, invitees, and presenters. Very good morning, all of you. Today is a special day for the Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, as it consecutively organized its 4th NRSM. Despite of the barriers and challenges made by the COVID-19 global pandemic, like the previous 3 events in this series, I am confident that the 4th NRSM will play an essential role in encouraging activities in research on management and give an excellent opportunity to researchers to disseminate their findings. The theme of NRSM, the new normal, building resilience to keep business moving, has been selected appropriately to meet the conditions which arise during the pandemic period. As we all know, the organization faced this critical situation more than 1.5 years ago. However, organization stepped up to challenges, adapting their business to protect their employees and to continue serving their customers and communities. Nevertheless, some organizations have proved to be more resilient than others, rapidly adapting their strategies to address the challenges and the opportunities created by the crisis. This is crucial in the business era where the new normal, building resilience to keep business moving. The fundamental ingredient of the economic competitiveness of any countries. Therefore, the 4th NRSM primarily focus on building resilience to keep business moving during the pandemic. Consider the prevailing social and economic situation and curtailing public gathering of the country to continue the spread of the pandemic. This time, the 4th NRSM will be performed on the online platform. Here, I should especially mention that the NRSM 2021 would not have been possible without many individuals' generously support and dedication. First of all, I wish to extend my sincere gratitude to Dr. Karunaratne, Vice Chancellor of the Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, for his invaluable support. I also extend my sincere gratitude to conference co-chair and the organizing committee to make this event a success. Finally, I should thank all authors and presenters for being a part of the 4th NRSM on Management 2021. So I am confident that the NRSM 2021 will be a successful, productive, interactive and memorable event for you all. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the conference organizing committee, it is with great pleasure now I invite our chief guest, Dr. B.A. Karunaratne, Vice Chancellor of the Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, to address the gathering.
Universities play an important role in creating and spreading knowledge and must be prepared to establish close cooperation with industries and enterprises, while at the same time preserving their role of education and generation of new knowledge. Proper education liberates individuals from ignorance, intolerance, and dogmatism, freeing them for critical and reflective thought and for wise and effective action. A well-organized, high-quality academic, technical, and research university can provide well-trained graduates that help fuel the economy and stimulate cultural change. In addition, such a university nurtures business while creating quality of life that attracts and keeps talented people in the country. Rajarata University mission, vision, and values are developed in the context of the university's history and heritage as the first and only university in the North Central province of Sri Lanka. Our mission, vision, and values will guide our future strategies and priorities. They provide tools to guide day-to-day processes and behaviors and be reflected in all decisions and activities, including monitoring policies and procedures, ensuring that the right activities are valued and rewarded, and helping to ensure consistent purpose and commitment from our institution's leaders. The education of students with proper mental discipline and development is the central mission of our university. To meet this requirement, the primary responsibilities of the university academic staff are teaching, research, and creation of an active learning environment for students. This way, our university positively influences Sri Lankan society by engaging in the pursuit of excellence through the creation, preservation, transfer, and application of knowledge. Our university helps shape the future by bridging together and developing leaders in their fields to inspire the next generation and to advance ideas that benefit the world. Our university strives for the personal and professional successes of its students, staff, and alumni. Okay, challenges for the future. In spite of all the advances made by science and technology, the world is far from being safe and peaceful. Science and technology have indeed made human life more insecure than ever before. Modern scientific education has created more problems rather than promoting knowledge, peace, happiness, and security. Governments around the world are enforcing rules and regulations to maintain the law and order by punishing those who disobey these rules and laws of the country. But evil and immoral practices are spreading rapidly around the whole world because we cannot eradicate wrongdoing by punishment and creating fear. However, if our minds are well trained and developed with understanding, we can solve and prevent many problems. Academic or worldly knowledge without proper mental discipline or development is more dangerous than ignorance and can be abused for destructive purposes. It is important that we use this knowledge and tap all available resources to enhance the quality of life of mankind and human civilization rather than destroying ourselves and the environment. To this end, we believe that the knowledgeable circles and universities can play a crucial role. The university must be committed to the principle that responsible and knowledgeable persons are freely exercising in the pursuit of individual and community interests, playing a significant and beneficial role in addressing countries' critical problems and enriching the lives of human as well as other beings. So what are our goals and objectives? Sri Lanka is in an excellent position to thrive in the global arena because the island has all the basic ingredients for success. Skilled professionals with an enormous potential for creativity and highly motivated, hard-working, hard-learning student population prepared for the innovation. What we need are good bases, a strong industrial sector that leads the country in many domains. However, the right level of public and private investment is still missing. We assess which academic areas should be progressed and which emerging areas should be encouraged. That is to offer academic programs characterized by high quality, serious attention to outcomes, recognition of the interdisciplinary nature of knowledge, commitment to lifelong learning and preparing an educational citizens, and responsiveness to regional and national needs. We encourage students to personalize their learning, developing them to become independent, confident, responsible, enterprising, and ethical graduates with a lifelong commitment to learning and able to compete successfully in the world at large. The university is mindful of the importance of students' contact with academics as an important part of the student experience. It is recognized that modern pedagogical approaches provide a much wider spectrum of learning modes than traditional lectures and laboratory settings. Rapid development in ICT continue to change learning and teaching methodologies and models, bringing about not only incremental changes but also radical transformations. These include the widespread use of online. Particular attention is paid to feedback and from students. The size and shape of the student population is closely related to the university's academic provision. In this regard, it is foreseen that we have to modernize the curriculum to increase the employability and to broaden their study beyond their chosen area of specialization. We strive to increase its postgraduate student population in terms of postgraduate research students. We enhance its range of delivery modes, seeking where possible to make provisions accessible and relevant to learners who wish to study part-time. We strive to increase its intake of international students. Unfortunately, it is not possible these days due to the present situation, but we did it and we will start it again. Research. We believe that research and teaching are closely interconnected and reinforce each other. The Rajarata University students are educated in the research-informed environment. Our students interact with research, thereby developing the ability continuously to renew their learning experience before and after graduation. Creativity and independence of thinking. We welcome new ideas from our staff and students as well as from our alumni and our external partners. We support intellectual freedom, courage and creativity, and encourage the pursuit of innovation and opportunities. In our opinion, it is necessary to explore innovative approaches to bridge the academia and the industry through private-public partnerships. This can be achieved by means of technology platforms, bringing together the relevant university entities and all the key players in the industry, small to medium enterprises, research institutions, and public authorities. Their main objective is to define a strategic approach to provide an orientation to university students to enhance their employability in the private sector. The strategic agendas of the technology platform can help achieve the necessary investment in human capital and influence educational orientation and skill development. Ultimately, these technology platforms should provide the necessary driving force to increase the joint public-private investment that will generate competitiveness and entry to the national and world marketplace. Good quality higher education is the basis of innovation. It is fundamental to promote education and research and spread know-how widely in the North Central province as well as throughout the island. The creation of more and better jobs can only be achieved by productivity growth, which in turn relies on creativity and innovation. In fact, most current business processes, new functions, and new products are based on new or improved information technology and information communication technology. Okay, this is the 4th National Research Symposium on Management of the Faculty of Management Studies. A symposium of this nature assists academia and other participants in envisaging critical concerns and new developments within the field of management research, which helps this fabricate innovative and meaningful work. I am indeed pleased about this research orientation of the faculty. I appreciate the tremendous dedication and effort made by the Dean of the faculty, co-chair, internal and external reviewers, and the organizing committee members in making this event reality. I extend my best wishes to the organizing committee of the 4th National Research Symposium on Management. I am sure that this will be both an educative and intellectually stimulating discussion forum for all those who are taking part. I would like to congratulate the researchers and the business community for sharing their expertise. Please also remember that in the future, when we evaluate our success in attaining our vision, we must be able to show not only how many students graduated, how many research papers we produce, or the extent of research funding gain, but what contribution we made to the public good, how we improved their quality of life and prosperity, etc., etc., etc. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your valuable insight. According to the schedule, up next is launching the symposium proceeding. Surpassing the boundaries of the conventional practices, this time the launching of symposium proceeding is done virtually. For this, I cordially invite the Editor-in-Chief and the Editorial Board of the 4th National Research Symposium on Management 2021. the most important event of the day is the keynote speech. Two prominent key personalities are joining here with us today. Now I hand over this session to Dr. HMBP Ranavira, the Editor-in-Chief, to introduce the keynote speakers of the 4th National Research Symposium on Management 2021. Over to you, sir.
Very good morning to all. Dear Chief Guest, Dr. B.A. Karunaratne, Vice Chancellor, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, Professor W.P. Vijayawardena, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, Dr. E.M.C. Dasanayake, Co-Chair, National Research Symposium 2021. Dear keynote speakers, Dr. Jenny Cave and Professor Bandar Vaninayak, Deans of the faculties, heads of the departments, dear staff members, and dear presenters. As the Editor-in-Chief, National Research Symposium 2021, I have a great pleasure to introduce two keynote speakers, Dr. Jenny Cave and Professor Bandar Vaninayak. Dr. Jenny Cave is internationally known as a thought leader, talented communicator, and innovative tourism development agent. Her current focus is in the regenerative future of tourism. She holds adjunct academic positions at Massey University, Palmerston North, New Zealand, and Swansea University, United Kingdom. Her publications since 2000 have earned 1,709 citations, an H index of 20, and I index 33. Also, she is associate at the Tourism Collab and EDU Tourism Social Enterprise and Innovation Lighthouse for Positive Impact in the Next Tourism Economy. Dr. Cave is an experienced cultural heritage manager, evaluator, and tourism catalyst with over 25 years experience design, cultural heritage management and operations, as well as program development, market research, and governance. Her work has included projects for international aid agencies, federal and local government, not-for-profit, and the private sector in Canada, the United Kingdom, Pacific Islands, and Australasia. She is also a craft person. She has pragmatic insight into alternative tourism solutions in stakeholder ecosystems. Dr. Jenny, I cordially invite you to deliver your valuable speech.
I'm Jenny Cave. I'm sorry to have started this recording without you being present and to show you some of the mechanisms that's going on. Good afternoon. Well, it's afternoon for me here in New Zealand anyway. On a sunny, no, not so sunny day, it's a bit raining outside. But I'd like to talk to you today by discussing the idea of regenerative resilience, shaping the next economy from within. I'd like to thank you, the conference organizers, for the invitation, and to the organizers for putting together such a fascinating range of innovative speakers. Now, to begin, I'd like to think about what do we want for our future, and is it possible to return to normal? Normal implies a return to something that persists. In today's circumstances, I would suggest that perhaps challenge the idea that normal is even desirable and propose that regenerative resilience be thought about instead as a new way of looking at the issues. To begin, I'd like you to think about two key questions. Do we want to depend on economic models that are exploitative and extractive and inflict environmental damage and derive from societies that are not our own? Or do we want models that reflect an ethos of care, respect difference, and ensure that our respective social foundations are met within global planetary limits and embedded in place people and the nature of each region? COVID-19 has brought us to an inflection point or a pivot point. It's been a long time coming, regardless of COVID-19. Several of us have been arguing for this change to happen for many years. Gibson Graham since 2006, Diane Dredge and I for the last 5 years have been arguing for the change. A long time coming. There's the accumulation of wealth that's happened within the top 1%, and emphasis on hyper-consumption as driver of growth. Decades of growth in the tourism industry, in fact, have thwarted the appetite to imagine new and alternative economic models. But nonetheless, there's been growing dissatisfaction with exploitative, extractive nature of capitalism. And we argue that you need regenerative and sustainable economic and environmental systems now. We've got a choice to pivot or back to business as usual. I'd like to take a brief look at the relevance of the Sustainable Development Goals in the Anthropocene. Sustainable tourism development really is path dependent. The UN WTO development goals focus on growth. But is growth good? Donut economics proposed by Rajarata in 2017 looks at the ways in which our social foundations should be measured against the ecological science, limits to growth. So that if we're looking at our provision of our water, our food, or our health, and where there are shortfalls against ozone depletion, climate change, all of these can be balanced within a regenerative and distributive economy, and if we look at a safe and just place for humanity. We too are thinking of the need for diverse development approaches that are needed in precarious times. We have two paths, two futures. Our thoughts make the world. We can deny the need for change. We can fear change or follow self-interest. We can reinforce the status quo. We can hide in our silos, and echo chambers where we listen to only ourselves. We can distance ourselves. We can choose the old ways and think about be ignorant and ignore environmental decline. We can externalize responsibilities. That's not our problem. Or we can continue to engage in the kind of violence that is exacted on the environment and on each other. Wars, water shortages, food shortages, famine, COVID, for example. Or we can question the old ways. We can build empathy. We can decenter ourselves, listen to stakeholders, think with empathy, and listen to nature and what nature's telling us about the changes that are happening and how things are collapsing in different areas. But sense the whole system. We could look at the ways where regeneration is happening, where good things are going on, where there's new knowledge and understanding happening. We can take responsibility, engage with self-control and self-prudence and courage, and work through the ethics of care for others. We can crystallize these ideas by embrace complexity, employ a regenerative mindset, and look at diverse types of knowledge. And together we can create a shared future. Maybe this is idealistic, but I think we can do it. We can prototype and experiment. Briefly, to compare sustainable tourism with generative tourism, sustainable tourism works with detached responsibility, relies on scientific rationality. As soon as you define a measure, you look for the measure and forget about many other things. We can look only for economic value compared to holistic, social and economic and environmental values of care. You can look to outside experts with sustainable tourism, but regenerative tourism thinks about local knowledge and thinks about building capacity locally, guided by outside experts perhaps, but builded from the local base. Sustainable tourism uses strategic leadership, but regenerative thinks about transcendental leadership, leaping over just the parameters of a strategy and being responsive. And we can work with intentional design compared to strategic managing and managing the destination. Maybe it evolves. Change always happens, but think of things about differently. I'd also like to propose to you the Alternative Economies Framework, which was developed by Gibson and Graham. They were really ignored in 2006 when they first proposed this because it was seen as oppositional to capitalism. But in fact, it's not about that at all. It's about envisaging that there's multiple forms of economy, some capitalist, some alternative forms of capitalist, some which are non-capitalist, that exist alongside each other in societies and around the world. These alternative forms you can see in the Global South everywhere. We're familiar with this in the Global South. This is not new stuff. This has been going on for generations and is particularly recognised by Indigenous and rural communities. But there are some who are just getting on with it, using the new models, using the new outcomes, not crying in the wilderness saying, oh my God, we don't know what to do. So Visit Flanders is one of those who's worked through a deeply co-creative process with dozens of participants in the area of Flanders, with public, private sector, the city itself and abroad, to find out what people want and what they can in fact do within their local region. Another one is a project that I'm involved with in Tonga. It's intergenerational program with youth advising elders and working together with elders to be co-creative and connect people, place and nature, and look for the kinds of economies that these kids want, these youth want. Not so they don't want to leave their homes and go work somewhere else. They want something within their own place. So this is a new way of looking at how to regenerate economies within the local area. New Zealand has taken the big step of reforming itself in the wellbeing economy and has established a policy level task force to embed regenerative tourism and that idea in a national educational policy, a national education program in the tourism and hospitality sector. We've just finished this. It was called Back to Life and absolutely brilliant. And Diane Dredge and I also teach. We run several courses currently. It's called Regenerative Tourism by Design, where we take small cohorts of people around the globe or locally based people to work through ideas to bring them to prototype within 10 weeks. This can be done. There's another regenerative example, which is an Indigenous ecotourism. Another is a collaborative technology platform. Another is creating community co-value, where other people with wealth in the community will loan the money, and the money is loaned back within a non-capitalist system, and creating alternative financial systems. Local family networks, you'd understand this within those who work in rural communities and coastal communities, the non-capitalist way that family networks loan skills and expertise and time and give those to each other in exchange for alternative types of value. Also, big corporations are doing this too in Fiji, where they're looking at community priorities and not just corporate social responsibility, tech, doing the green things. They're putting community first. And the post-Castro Cuba, there's many examples there, because the collaborative commons and providing moral incentives is what the government wants to put in place. So it's a government-sponsored operation. You'll find those in some of the references that I've provided in the paper that I've got in your proceedings. So I'm proposing regenerative resilience as a new idea. It's a transformative opportunity to challenge the norm, but it's really important that you understand the ecosystems, and there's many different types of economic undertaking. Only some of those cluster around market transactions within given social formations. Think more broadly, engage communities. So let's reshape the next economy, post-COVID, from within, in forms of enterprise that resonate for our nations and networks, our cultures and our communities. There's no need to look beyond except for good practice. Stop looking for best practice. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Jenny. I believe that your speech made the audience awake. I have a great honor to introduce Professor Bandar Vaninayak as the second keynote speaker to this audience. Professor Bandar Vaninayak is a professor in marketing at the Department of Marketing Management, Faculty of Commerce and Management Studies, University of Kelaniya. He was graduated with second class upper division from the University of Sridharpura, and today he holds a PhD from Thomas Bata University, Czech Republic, an MBA from the University of Colombo, and a postgraduate diploma in marketing from the Chartered Institute of Marketing, United Kingdom. Currently, he is specialized in lecturing on strategic marketing management, sales management, consumer behavior, and research methodology at the Institute of Kelaniya and working as a visiting lecturer in both local and foreign affiliated universities and higher education institutions. Further, he has published more than 35 research papers in reputed international research journals and proceedings of international research conferences. Currently, he is serving as the director of the Staff Development Center at the Institute of Kelaniya and a research consultant for several leading companies. Further, he has contributed to more than 10 applied research projects for the clients, namely National Savings Bank, Brown's Thermal Engineering Private Limited, Macron's Mobile Optical Limited, Sipco Chicken Limited, People's Bank. Professor Bandar Vaninayak, over to you, sir.
Very good morning to all of you. Vice Chancellor, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, Deans of other faculties, Head of the departments, all academics, conference organizers, and all the presenters in today's knowledge sharing sessions. Let me first say that it is my great pleasure and privilege to be invited to make the keynote speech at the 4th National Research Symposium on Management 2021, organized by the Faculty of Management Studies, Rajarata University of Sri Lanka. I must congratulate the Faculty of Management Studies, University of Rajarata, to organize this conference on the theme of the new normal, building resilience to keep business moving. I personally believe that it is really important and relevant theme to the today challenging business environment. I got to know from conference organizers, today most of the presenters are undergraduates and postgraduate students, and they are going to share the present research findings of their final research projects in this conference. Therefore, in order to make my speech more relevant to the audience and conference theme, I thought to share my views on the topic of role of academic research for building business resilience in new normal. Let me share some slides with you. Role of academic research for building business resilience in new normal is one of important area to discuss in today's environment. With considering the prevailing condition, I believe most of our academics should pay more attention on the COVID-19 pandemic and what kind of impact made by this kind of unstable environment to the business. Therefore, I think this topic is more relevant to today's conference. First of all, I would like to pay your attention on academic research and applied research. As you know, all of you, the academic research is a systematic investigation into a problem or situation where the intention to identify facts or opinion that will assist in solving problem or dealing with the situation. Therefore, most of the researchers argue academic research limited to undergraduate, graduate studies or postgraduate program or professional levels through an institute of higher education with the objective of publishing the research findings in the thesis, dissertation or peer-reviewed journal articles. But some cases, beyond the academic program, some scholars or some academics are conducting self-funded scientific research projects or some research project funded by third-party organization. But they are also mainly focused on generating the knowledge relating to the particular field and publish that findings in the international or national level journals or research symposiums. However, whatever the academic research, the core responsibility of academic researchers is to make an original or creative intellectual contribution to their respective discipline. On the other hand, applied research may undertake by particular business organization in order to find the specific solution for whatever the business problem they are facing. And therefore, the scientific approach of conducting the research may not 100% applied in the applied research projects. And therefore, most of the findings needed to solve this particular problem, but it is very difficult to generalize in the other situation. And this framework I have selected from the Sproken, Smith and other researchers. This is one of the framework we can identify where our academic research can be positioned. In this framework, there are two axes you can find. One is to what extent student has autonomy to conduct the academic research. Other side, to what extent you can make the exposure or otherwise disseminate your knowledge. The dissemination of knowledge, when you are considering, you can find whether you limit to module, department, institution, or even we can go to the national and international level. But teacher-directed and student-directed, that situation is concerned. The degree of autonomy given to a student will help them to go for the national level or international level knowledge dissemination by contributing intellectual or creative knowledge to the field of investigation. And therefore, in most of the cases in our programs, our academic programs, researchers are in B, A, or C areas in that particular framework. But I believe we have to go for even not only E, F, D, but I think we can go for the H and G level by conducting very relevant and original research with high level of quality. But the problem is, even though we publish many articles in the journals, even academic researchers doing presentation in this type of research conferences, how far that findings will be useful to industry practitioners, or whether business people accept the research findings presented by academic researchers in the research symposiums and conferences. I believe there is a big gap, because even academic researchers identify a theoretical gap or literature gap in their research, but they are not properly understand the practice gap in the industry. And therefore, most of the research findings will be the general findings. Those are not having any newness to the business people. Sometimes those strategies and whatever the recommendation given by the academic researchers already adapted by business organization, and they have become failure or they have different experience on that. And therefore, as academic researchers, we have to have good practices or best practices in filling this gap. Most of the best practices, actually we can discuss this in different perspective, but I have given very few points for your attention. First one is select the actual problem of the industry, because sometimes even theoretically or literature wise we can justify the research problem, but sometimes that kind of problem not prevailing in the industry, and therefore actual problem you have to select. As well as I believe priorities of the research topic selection, you have to always focus on importance of that particular problem and urgency of investigating that problem, and genuinely collect the data, because sometimes different methods the academic researchers adapted to collect the data, but sometimes we have very big question whether we have collected right data from the right audience. And scientifically, you have to design the research based on all the scientific methodologies you have to consider. and select appropriate research design to the research problem. According to the research problem, sometimes we need different research design. Use accurate data analysis techniques, right? Those are some best practices I just wanted to highlight in this presentation. In addition to that, under this topic, I would like to pay your attention what kind of business crisis in COVID-19 pandemic. Today, most of business organizations face big difficulties in order to survive with the current condition, with the current existing workforce. Some organizations reducing the workforce. Some organizations struggle to maintain their business, lack of revenue generation. Some organizations may have supply chain issues. Even they have demand, but they can't supply because of they don't have proper supply chain, smoothly operate the supply chain. The problems associated with the manufacturing process. Because of the lockdown conditions, sometimes some laborers cannot come and work in the factories and lost their regular customer base because of supply is not there, and sometimes customers may go for the competitors' product and are struggling to reach their customers in the physical environment, right? Sometimes new alternative methods they have to find. Depreciation of the currency and increase the cost of inputs and some imports barriers. And likewise, there are many things or many problems and challenges faced by business organizations under the COVID-19 pandemic. Commonly, we can say we are all in a very big economic crisis, and therefore any business organization should operate in future under the huge economic crisis, and they have to have many challenges to face. With considering that situation, I would like to pay your attention on one particular model introduced in USA 2001 after their terrorist attack. That model called the VUCA model. That VUCA model mainly identify the environment may have the volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. Then business leaders should find a separate business approach under the VUCA environment. And therefore, I believe that VUCA model can ideally apply in the COVID-19 pandemic. Because today, all business organizations face these particular characteristics in their environment. If you take the volatility, today, because of the COVID-19, we can't predict what happened. Drastic changes, fast changes happen, and therefore stable environment you can't find. On the other hand, uncertainty, because of this COVID pandemic, everything uncertain, right? We don't know when pandemic will end, when we will have a cure or vaccination after completing all the vaccinations program. Still, uncertainty is prevailing. Complexity. The pandemic is affecting all aspects of the life. People, health, businesses, economic, social life, right? And therefore, it is very complex, very difficult to analyze. Then ambiguity. There is no best practices under this kind of condition. Organizations should identify different approaches, different business practices to match with the situation. And therefore, I believe that VUCA model can be ideally applied in today's business environment. And we have to find a solution to business problem with considering all those factors. The academic research and business resilience is concerned further. Business resilience is organizations' ability to quickly adapt to disruptions while maintaining continuous business operations, while safeguarding people, asset, and overall brand equity. The business should search for new market, new customers, and they have to identify what are the workforce dynamics by using the scientific research other than undertake customized applied research to their organization separately. Therefore, today, most of businesses are expecting the academics will find new knowledge. Academics may generate new knowledge and provide some solution for their business problem. Therefore, I would like to propose to academic researchers some areas that business can consider for their decision making. Right? Those areas of research may be reveal the behavioral changes of the customers because of that new normal situation, potential technology adaptations, and what are the degree of adapting to the technology and how far we can utilize different technology, the impact of policy decisions on the business, and because of in order to control that pandemic condition, government make different decisions, but to what extent those decisions affect on the businesses, impact of macro environment dynamics on the business. Likewise, very important areas we have to identify and we have to focus on our research. After that, businesses can use that information, especially for the market penetration. Market penetration is identify the new opportunities of the existing businesses and expand the existing businesses. Market to product development maybe, and find the new opportunities for diversification for the new businesses or new business areas, or sometime even harvesting or divesting, because if you cannot survive, sometime you can divest, or otherwise you can go for the short-term profit-making strategies. Therefore, I propose actually with the new scientific knowledge, we can convert the traditional conventional VUCA model into the new VUCA model. The traditional VUCA model says volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. But new VUCA model, we can go for the vision, understanding, clarity, adaptability, and agility. But those can be done based on the new knowledge generated by scientific research. I will explain a little bit how this new VUCA model can be operated based on the scientific information. Then normally business vision cannot be changed, or sometimes most of the businesses are not interested to change their vision. However, based on the scientific research findings, business might revise their strategy to achieve the same vision. As well as they can fully understand, business can fully understand those changes and the impact on the businesses, and then develop the strategies to manage those changes. Clarity also you can make because of the research findings, scientific research findings. Business can move forward to have clarity of the future changes by reasonable predictions. And adaptability and agility is concerned, business must be flexible and agile and adapt their strategies based on the new situation and reevaluate all the environment and competitive forces and either amend their current strategy or adapt new blue ocean strategy to realize the goals. And therefore, I believe, even though today we face to the VUCA environment, but that traditional VUCA factors, we can convert into the new VUCA model in the new normal situation by using the scientific research. Therefore, as a concluding remarks, I can mention the academic research can immensely contribute to the business resilience in new normal with adapting to the new VUCA model. Thank you very much for inviting me to deliver the keynote speech in your prestigious conference. And I wish all the best to success the conference today. Thank you very much.
Our deep appreciation goes to Professor Bandar Vaninayak and Dr. Jenny Kev for the inspiring speeches today. We are grateful for the time and effort you took to share your thoughts and experience. Your years of research, your depth of understanding, and your interesting way of presentation produced one of the most remarkable events today. As we approach the closure of this inaugural function, I would like to invite the Conference Secretary of 4th National Research Symposium on Management, Dr. JMT Madhushankar, to propose the vote of thanks.
Yes, respected invitees, Vice Chancellor of Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, keynote speakers, all the members of academic community, and delegates of the today's event. It's my privilege to propose the vote of thanks and acknowledge the contribution of different experts who work hard to make this symposium a success. On behalf of the organizing committee, I give a really heartfelt gratitude to our chief guest, Dr. B.A. Karunaratne, Vice Chancellor of Rajarata University of Sri Lanka, who spent his valuable time gracing the occasion. Today, we had the opportunity to hear your thoughts, and that was definitely encouraging. It was really an insightful thought from our keynote speakers, which enlightened the audience towards novel perspectives. It's my duty to appreciate the contribution made by two of our keynote speakers, Dr. Jenny Cave and Professor Bandar Vaninayak, for sharing their knowledge and time with us. Faculty of Management Studies, as the hosting institution of 4th NRSM 2021, there are many contributors behind making the event a reality. First and foremost, Dean of the Faculty of Management Studies and Conference Chair, Professor W.P. Vijayawardena. Sir, without your guidance and support, this event will not be a success. At the same time, I would like to extend my sincere appreciation for the deans of other faculties and head of the departments, especially Dr. C.T. Gamage, Professor P.M.B. Jayatilaka, Mr. W.W.A.N. Sujeeva, Mr. P.G. Munasinghe, Mrs. M.G.S. Padmini, and Mrs. K.T.N.P. Abhevikrama for their continuous assistance from the beginning. Today, we have distinguished personalities from the university, especially Registrar, Bursar, and Librarian. Thank you. Thank you very much for your involvement. The next important part of 4th NRSM is the technical sessions. To make the technical sessions more significant, your contribution is really important. Thank you very much for all panel chairs and panel members for your presence today. The quality of the symposium is because of your constructive comments and value additions. All the reviewers highly appreciate your commitment for enrich the conference. Dr. D.M.C. Dasanayaka, conference co-chair, you guide us towards the success in different aspects in organizing this event. Thank you very much, sir. And NRSM 2021 was an outcome of a team effort. Thank you very much for all the team members, especially track coordinators, committee coordinators, committee members, rapporteurs, and all other academic staff members. Last but not least, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to Assistant Registrar and Assistant Bursar of Faculty of Management Studies, all non-academic staff members for their committed support. And the next, I would like to invite all the participants for technical sessions as the next half of the today's event. We present the research findings on different tracks, especially accountancy and finance, contemporary studies in management, economics and entrepreneurship, human resource management, information systems, marketing and supply chain management, operation and total quality management, and we have tourism, hospitality, and event management. For the first technical session series in the morning, it is planned to have 14 panels, and in the evening, we have 13 panels. We are so glad to have you in the technical sessions to share the innovative insights and your research findings. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, I want to express my appreciation and heartfelt gratitude to all the participants to being with us throughout the event. So have a nice day. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Here is a quick guide on how to join with the conference. Go to the main conference website using the following path: www.rjt.ac.lk/mgt/NRSM. Then you will be directed to this page. Click on the Join the Symposium Day to connect with the program information page. As the arrow shows, you can download the preceding book from here. And also, you can download the program information from here. When you go down further, you can see the virtual help desk icon. If you have any queries, you can get the assistance of our help desk by clicking on this icon. In the left side, you can see the information related to the technical session under different tracks. Please click on the relevant session to join the technical session. We hope it's clear. See you at the technical session. Have a joyful and a productive day ahead.
Thank you very much. To conclude the inaugural function, let's stand up for the national anthem.
Sri Lanka Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Sundara Sivarini, Surani Ati Sobhamana Lanka, Ranya Danaya Mekamal Valatulu Iri Jaya Bhumi Ranya, Appa Hatta Sapa Siri Setta Sadhana, Jivana Ye Mata, Viliganu Mena Appa Bhakti Puja, Namo Namo Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata, Obame Appa Vidya, Obamaya Appa Satya, Obare Appa Shanti, Appa Hada Tula Bhakti, Oba Appa Aloke, Appa De Anuprane, Oba Appa Jivanale, Appa Muktiya Obade, Nava Jivana Dinini, Nitila Appa Kubudu Karan Mata, Jnana Vidya Vada Vanina Ragina Yanu Mena Jaya Bhumi Kara, Vikamavakati Daru Kala Vedina, Yamu Yamu Vinopama, Prema Vada Sama Veda Durala, Namo Namo Mata, Appa Sri Lanka, Namo 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 Mata.
NRSM 2021 congratulates all the presenters and hopes this virtual conference provided young researchers an opportunity to share their knowledge with the research community from around the country. Thank you very much and have a productive day ahead.